Yin-Yang Chaos, Otherworldly Seal. Chapter 1, Lost in Another World. As night fell, the bright moonlight sprinkled on the dusty land, a strange and barren land. Li Chongchuan, an ordinary young man, is lost in this wasteland of another world as if in a dream. When he came to his senses, there was no one around, except for the occasional roar of a beast in the distance. He couldn't remember how he got here. Memories were blurry, his body was exhausted, and there was only a strange sensation that something had awakened within him. Looking down at his hand, he saw a faint golden glow there. His heart was shocked, and he couldn't help but clench his fists. This feeling has never been felt before. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. Li Chongchuan suddenly came back to his senses, the air in front of him seemed to be distorted, and then a figure appeared, an alien woman he had never seen before. The woman was dressed in a strange attire, and her robe was embroidered with intricate runes. There was an indescribable mystery on her face. She smiled slightly, her eyes as deep as a bottomless black hole. "You're finally here." The woman's voice was soft but threatening. Li Chongchuan's brows furrowed slightly, and he asked puzzledly, "Who are you? Where is this?" The woman didn't answer directly, just stretched out a hand and pointed to the air, and suddenly, a huge light curtain appeared, and Li Chongchuan saw an image, which was his former life, an ordinary city. "This is your world," the woman said slowly. "You have been chosen to come here with a different fate." Li Chongchuan was stunned. "The fate of the world?" The woman nodded. "What you have is the legendary Yin and Yang Chaos Decision, a power that changes the world. Only those who master it can break the seal of this other world and rewrite everything here." Yin and Yang Chaos Decision. Li Chongchuan muttered to himself, but he felt a strong longing in his heart. He knew that this seemed to be the strength he needed. Chapter 2, The Power of the Yin and Yang Chaos Decision. Li Chongchuan came back to his senses and found that the woman had disappeared. He stood on the empty wasteland and was stunned for a moment, then he found that the power in his body was getting stronger and stronger, and the golden light was getting brighter and brighter. A strong desire suddenly surged in my heart, as if I was about to make some kind of change. Yin and Yang are chaotic, Yin and Yang are two poles, the power of fusion. Li Chongchuan's lips moved slightly, and he felt very clearly in his heart that all this was arranged by fate. Just as he closed his eyes, trying to sense the force, suddenly, a muffled voice came from the air. "You're from the outside world." It was another man's voice, full of menace. Li Chongchuan opened his eyes and saw a man in a black robe appear in front of him. The man's eyes were cold, and there was a chilling aura around him. "Who are you?" Li Chongchuan raised his eyebrows and looked at the man in front of him vigilantly. The man sneered, "My name is Ling Hans, and I am the chosen one of this continent. You are from the outside world, and you must die." Li Chongchuan's heart was beating faster, and he knew that this duel was inevitable. "In that case, I'm not welcome." Li Chongchuan slammed his hands, and the chaotic power in his body was released. The two forces intertwined in the air, and instantly erupted with earth-shattering power. Li Chongchuan found that the Yin and Yang Chaos Decision in his body seemed to be able to continuously absorb the energy around him and transform it into his own power, which gave him an unprecedented sense of strength. Ling Hans obviously felt this power as well, and his face changed suddenly. "You have that power. You're not the only one who is chosen." Li Chongchuan smiled coldly, and his strength continued to increase. Chapter 3, Red Confidant, The Resurgence of the Rivers and Lakes. With the passage of time, Li Chongchuan gradually mastered the essence of the Yin and Yang Chaos Decision and became a powerhouse in this otherworldly continent. His name has also spread among the major forces, and no one dares to underestimate him. However, the other world is not as simple as he imagined, and as his strength increases, Li Chongchuan finds that he not only needs to fight against enemies in the outside world, but also needs to face the puzzles of the world itself. By chance, Li Chongchuan met her, Su, a mysterious woman with extremely high medical skills, fought side by side with Li Chongchuan, and gradually became his confidant. Behind her, there is a secret that is enough to change the whole world. "Do you know, Chongchuan, the fate of this continent has long been controlled by a mysterious force?" Su said to Li Chongchuan. "So, who is behind all this conspiracy?" Li Chongchuan asked, his eyes revealing incomparable firmness. Su's eyes dimmed. "It's the seal of the ancients, it's the Lord of Chaos." Lord of Chaos. Li Chongchuan's heart was terrified. Su nodded slightly. This name represents not only strength, but also a story about the fate of the whole world. With the cooperation with Su, Li Chongchuan's power has become stronger and stronger, but he has gradually discovered that this world is not so simple. The conspiracy behind it, the mysterious power, everything revolves around the secret of the Yin and Yang Chaos Decision. In the end, Li Chongchuan decided to uncover the truth of this world no matter what, and in his own way, break the seal of this piece of China and rewrite his destiny. Chapter 4, The Heroes of the World. When Li Chongchuan finally stood at the pinnacle of the world, he looked back on every battle in the past, whether it was Ling Han's or the heroes of other continents, it became the cornerstone of his growth. At this time, he is no longer the boy who was lost in another world, but a strong man with supreme power. He knew that what he was pursuing was not only the top of power, but also the untouchable truth. Is this finally over? Li Chongchuan stood on a high place, overlooking the once hostile land. The future is the most important thing, he whispered. As he waved the sword in his hand, the power of the yin and yang chaos decision swept across the entire continent again, all the seals were broken, and a new era finally came. The story has just begun. Chapter 5, Uncovering the Truth. As the seal was broken, the world fell silent. Li Chongchuan stood on a high place, looking at the continent that was gradually recovering its vitality in the distance. He felt an inexplicable force attracting him, and this power seemed to be closely related to the yin and yang chaos decision in his body. This attraction comes from distant mountain ranges, where a secret is hidden that can turn the whole world upside down. Li Chongchuan was firm in his heart and decided to explore deeply and uncover the truth of this world. He turned to Su Su and said, "It's time for us to go there." A hint of hesitation flashed across Su Su's face, but then she nodded. "Now that we've come this far, let's move forward together." The two set out together, crossed the mountains, and walked into the desolate land. On the way, Li Chongchuan couldn't help but recall his experience of coming to another world, and his state of mind was already very different from the beginning. The boy who longed for power back then has grown into a strong man with great wisdom. But as he moved deeper and deeper into the heart of China, Mr. Li felt a strong threat. The smell of this land made him feel depressed. Just like the yin and yang chaos decision in his heart, there seems to be a deeper power hidden here. When they came to the depths of the mountains, an ancient ruin appeared before their eyes. It is a huge, dilapidated palace carved with countless ancient runes, like a forgotten temple. Li Chongchuan looked at this temple, and was secretly shocked in his heart. Everything here seemed to hide some kind of extremely important secret. "This is the ruins of the Lord of Chaos," Su Su whispered, with a hint of sadness in her tone. "The power of the Lord of Chaos comes from the center of this continent, and the balance of the entire world is based on the mark he left behind." After Li Chongchuan heard this, his eyebrows raised slightly. "So, what is the force that seals the existence of the Lord of Chaos?" Su Su's eyes darkened. "The power possessed by the Lord of Chaos is not just the power of heaven and earth. It is the power that comes from the origin of heaven and earth, and once it is released, the whole world will be plunged into endless chaos and destruction." After Li Chongchuan heard this, he had more questions in his heart. His gaze turned to the ruined temple again. As he stepped inside, the ancient runes glowed faintly. Suddenly, a muffled voice came from the depths of the temple. "Who's coming?" Li Chongchuan stopped in shock, and the air around him seemed to freeze. That voice is no longer visible to the naked eye, but a spiritual communicative. This made Li Chongchuan can't help but be vigilant. "I'm Li Chongchuan, from another world." Li Chongchuan replied, although his tone was calm, but his heart set off a rolling wave. The voice was silent for a moment, then replied, "What are you here for?" "I'm here to unravel everything." Li Chongchuan's tone was firm, and his eyes were as sharp as a sword. "Are you ready to face the truth of everything?" The voice suddenly grew deeper, like an echo from the depths of the earth. Li Chongchuan was shocked in his heart. The sense of oppression exuded by this force exceeded his expectations. However, his heart was extremely strong. He knows that no matter what truth he faces, he must uncover it. "Yes, I'm ready," he replied again, unflinching. Then, a ray of light shone from the deepest part of the temple, as if opening a door to the unknown. As the light became more and more intense, the figures of Li Chongchuan and Su Su gradually disappeared into this light. Chapter 6, The Truth of the Lord of Chaos. When Li Chongchuan and Su Su came back to their senses again, they found that they had come to a completely different place. The surrounding scene was completely different from what had been seen before. The sky was a deep purple, and the ground was paved with a smooth black stone that emitted a faint blue light. "It's... where?" Li Chongchuan looked around in surprise. Su Su's expression also looked extremely solemn. "This is the realm of the Lord of Chaos, the heart of this continent. The power here is not within the realm of our comprehension." At this moment, an illusory figure appeared in front of them, its figure blurred, but the powerful aura was clearly visible. This is the image of the Lord of Chaos, whose face cannot be seen clearly, only a pair of deep eyes. "You're finally here." The voice of the Lord of Chaos resounded like thunder. "Li Chongchuan, Su Su, are you ready to bear the consequences of all this when you come here?" Li Chongchuan's eyes lit up with a hint of determination. "I'm not afraid of any challenge, I just want to reveal everything." The eyes of the Lord of Chaos were deep and meaningful, as if assessing Li Chongchuan's determination. "Then you must know that the root of all this lies not in the power you can comprehend, but in the balance between chaos and order. Chaos and order. Li Changchuan's heart moved, and he seemed to have come to his senses. Yes. The Lord of Chaos spoke slowly. In this world, there was once a being who could control the power of chaos and order, and the balance he brought made this world maintain. However, the source of this power does not come from human beings, but from the primordial forces of heaven and earth. This power was once sealed, because once unleashed, it would completely change the fate of the entire world. Li Changchuan's heart was surging, and he finally understood that the yin and yang chaos decision he had learned was not just to increase his strength, but was closely related to the fate of this world. That powerful force is the deepest secret of this world. So, how do I choose? Li Changchuan asked, his tone full of calm power. A trace of regret flashed in the eyes of the Lord of Chaos, and then he said indifferently, this is not just your choice, but the choice of this world. It is only when chaos and order reach a true balance that the world will be truly reborn. As his words fell, a powerful force began to fluctuate in Li Changchuan's body. This power is no longer a simple yin and yang chaotic decision, but is fused with the power of the origin of heaven and earth. Li Changchuan clenched his fists tightly, and a fearless flame ignited in his eyes. I'll keep the balance of this world, no matter what.